Hello, Empowered Woman. Welcome to this episode of the Empowered Woman podcast. Today, I want to give you a bit of an update on me and my plans for the next few weeks, as well as announce an exclusive opportunity to get free access to amazing empowered resources in my very first Empowered Woman bundle. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on personal growth, visibility, and profit for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to start believing in yourself, giving yourself permission to succeed, and let your voice be heard to make an impact in the world as an entrepreneur, this is the place for you. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. I may have mentioned here in the show that I had plans for July to be a more low-key month, and really for the first time in the last 6 years ever since I started my business. Obviously, my schedule was different, has fluctuated throughout the years, but the last, I want to say 2 years, especially since the beginning of the pandemic, I've been very focused on networking, on connecting with people. I've been busier with the business side of things because I actually knew what I was doing after many years of, error and trial, doing all kinds of things. But especially because this month of July, I had 2 trips planned. So we took our camper on our very first camping trip over the 4th of July. So we got a camper last year. We've been talking about doing something like this because, to travel as a family, flying, it's a lot of a hassle, obviously expensive too. So we were like, let's road trip. And we started thinking about what could we do in terms of like an RV or something like that. And the opportunity presented itself last year where my husband, one of his coworkers, father-in-law, was selling like a trailer thing. I forget we've been calling it a camper. I showed it to somebody that's more of an expert and they said it's a trailer or something. I don't know. But anyways, it doesn't have an engine of its own and it has to be pulled. And I showed it in my stories, and it was funny because lots of people reached out once they saw that, and they were like, oh, I'm so excited for you. I've spent so much of my, early childhood camping, and that looks so exciting. And being Brazilian, I have never camped, friends. Like, officially going out to camp, grassroots, in a tent, I've never done it in my entire life. And even though we did go camping, I didn't sleep in the tent. My husband actually did. Because it's a small camper, so there's like somewhat of like I want to say maybe a double bed and then a bunker top, a single bed. And then we got a newer couch that turned into a bed. And then he actually got a sleeping mattress, not a sleeping mattress, a sleeping bag and an air mattress to sleep in the tent by himself. And everybody else, including the dog, was in the darned camper. But it wasn't like full on camping. After I showed some of the pictures, people were like, oh, glamping then. Because for me, it was already pretty rough considering I'd never done it. I mean, it went fine, but we didn't shower in there, even though there was a shower because there was no hot water. We didn't plan for that. You could use the bathroom for number 1, but for number 2, you had to use the facility. So we stayed at this place called Jellystone. They have locations all over the U.S., and it's like a resort. They have cabins and everything's themed in like the cartoon Yogi Bear, Boo Boo Bear, Cindy Bear, all that kind of stuff. I grew up watching them, but it's funny because the names are different in Portuguese, given that it's dubbed. But we'd stayed at Jellystone several times in the cabins. And it's really kid-friendly. They have all kinds of activities. They have a water park. It's really fun. And you can rent golf carts to drive around the entire place. It's pretty cool. But they also have RV parking spots. So this time around, because we had the camper, we got a parking spot to spend the 4th of July. But what we didn't realize beforehand is that fireworks were actually banned in the area because it's so dry here in Colorado. So there are several cities and areas that ban fireworks. But our street where we live, people go crazy. They actually put on a full show that we have never really had to go anywhere to go watch fireworks because we literally just sit on our driveway, do our little poppers and something, less risky because the kids can be more involved and just watch the neighbors. So we stay there and then we drove back the afternoon of the 4th so that we could watch the fireworks. And obviously, there were lots of hiccups and malfunctions here and there, but it was fun. It was a really fun experience to be able to take our puppy. And I think the kids really enjoyed it. I'm not sure when we'll be doing this again because it's a lot of preparation, like stocking up the fridge, getting all the sheets and all the stuff. Like it's another level of like when there's certain preparation that it takes to go to a hotel, certain preparation that it takes to go to an Airbnb, and then there's the preparation to go glamping, if you will, because it wasn't full-on camping. But anyways, it was really fun. So this was one of the trips that we had. And last week of July, so coming up, I'm so excited. I'm actually going to spend the whole week in Cancun, just me and my husband, Shane. And the kids are going to be spending it at my sister-in-law's in Nebraska, which is the very first time that they actually stay with someone else. Because we've taken trips, just the two of us, but usually family comes to our house because the kids were so small. But now we're going to venture out and they're going to stay at our house. So that'll be fun for everyone involved. I'm super excited. So knowing that it was going to be a month of, plus it's summertime, but a month of lots of moving and doing fun stuff, I was already planning for my business to be a little bit more low-key, not launching anything too crazy. So the last couple of months I've had workshops and things, so things that required a lot of my attention, a lot of planning. And this month, intentionally, I decided not to do that. And as I've shared for so long here, and especially ever since I started sharing about personality types and how I am a doer, it's hard for me to sit still. It's hard for me to slow down. It's been a challenge for me to let go, right? To just trust. I'm putting offers out there. Clients are coming to me, and really visualizing these things and receiving these things. It's always been more of my inclination to believe that I had to work for things. Got to put in the work. You got to be present. You got to show up and things like that. And all of that is true, but you could take it to a next level if you are a doer. So I had plans on, really sitting back and relax. And my official plan for when we go to Mexico is that I won't document it on social media at all. I don't even want to have my phone with me, like let my husband take pictures and be fully present. I'm so excited for that. But obviously life has a way of throwing curveballs. A couple weeks ago, I actually found out I had to have a small surgery. And I haven't really shared this on social media because it's a more private thing, but also because it was so fast. Like I had known about this for a while. And especially with carrying triplets, it's a lot of weight on somebody's body to carry that much of a weight, And I did put on 50 pounds, and I'm a very small person. I'm like 5'2". And I developed hemorrhoids. That's something very common, during pregnancy. And even 6 years later, it was something that has been bothering me, but it wasn't so extensive as we had gotten a couple weeks ago. And I had seen a doctor for it last year, and he had said, whenever it's like bothering you, you can come in the office and we can take care of it right here. But when I went this past couple weeks, he was like, oh no, I can't do this in the office because I may not be able to contain the bleeding. We have to go to the hospital, but it's going to be like an outpatient situation. You go home the same day. And it was in a matter of less than a week when I saw him, and he's like, all right, let's get this done next week. And it was right around the 4th of July holiday. And now looking back, I am seeing several different things that I feel have contributed to the flare-up, to this condition worsening so much that I had to do something about it. And it's a lot of emotional things, and handling difficult conversations and situations with people, coming to conclusions that I can't necessarily be friends with everybody, that not everybody's going to like me, that I have to stand up for myself and my beliefs at times, that I have to step down of things that I've committed to that no longer serve me, and that I can't be afraid that people won't like me because that's a given and I have to let that go. And the past year, I've been diving more into human design. I've had a client come on here and talk about human design. I definitely want to have somebody else on the show that's an expert in human design. So if you are an expert in human design and you want to be on the show, reach out to me. I would love to interview you and have you share a little bit more about this amazing source of wisdom on yourself. It's a great tool for self-discovery. And in understanding more about myself, I've known that I have these people-pleasing tendencies that everybody does, but especially in my case, being a generator and putting myself in positions where I feel like I need to do things or that I should do things. And it doesn't light me up. It's not serving me, but I keep at it because I don't want to let anybody down when you know there is no way you can please everybody, all that stuff. And so I know a lot of that contributed for me to developing this condition, because we all know that things that show up in your body, it's just it's a reflection of what's going on inside, right? And so for whatever reason, which I know some of the reasons, but at this specific time, this flared up and it had to be dealt with. So I went and I had the surgery, and I got to tell you, I don't wish this on anyone. You know what they say, I don't wish this on my worst enemies. I don't believe I have enemies, potentially haters, but it's just absolutely awful, extremely painful, even though it's something small. You know, you go home the same day. You can't really describe how much I had never imagined, how much of a huge part of your body and your movements that area has. Like with everything you do, those muscles are constantly contracting. And it's been so interesting for me to realize, especially when it comes to human design things, because when you talk about being a generator, when you don't like things, you contract, right? That's the way you need to tune into your body to understand, especially if you're a sacral generator, which is my case. And then when you're feeling light up, you feel free and you loosen up, you know? And so it's been a huge lesson for me to drop into my body and understand a little bit more how I respond to situations around me. And it's been extremely painful. It's been extremely painful. I had to cancel a lot of my commitments, even like on Zoom, in-person stuff 100%, because being seated for a long period of time is not comfortable at all. I had to spend a lot of time laying down. Obviously, I honored some of my commitments by staying on Zoom sitting, but right after that, going and laying down. And I'm still in recovery. It's actually a pretty slow recovery. I tend to be very optimistic and thinking, I'm going to be up and running in a couple of days. It's actually, the worst of it is a couple of weeks. And, the doctor was very realistic with me, but still, I was trying to stay optimistic. And for you to actually see, okay, it's improved and it's healed up, it takes about 4 weeks. So, it is a surgery. It takes a while. And here I was having plans of slowing down. And yeah, I am going to slow down for better or for worse. You know what I mean? So just sharing with you, because the people that listen to the show are people that really are interested in what I have to share and say, because it's not like you're just stumbling upon my content on social media forced to kind of look at it. You genuinely have to go and push the play button to listen to this. So if you're listening to this, I thank you. And I would love for you to send me a message wishing me a speedy recovery. If you reach out to me, that would make my day. So please do. And that's why I'm sharing this. And this is the only place I'm sharing it publicly, other than sharing it with close friends. And so, yeah, plans for slowing down, there it was. Now I want to talk to you about plans that I have for the following weeks and make an amazing, exciting announcement in terms of the Empowered Woman Bundle. But let me talk about how for the last year, I want to say, I've been thinking about doing something to incorporate different languages in my podcast. Especially ever since publishing my book, it's been in my mind that I want to translate my book into Portuguese for sure. And also potentially to other languages. And one of the things that I had in mind was, because I know that there's people from all over the world that listen to this show. I was actually surprised to find out when I was doing the stats for when I reached a big milestone in the show, that the top 5 shows, the top 5 countries that listen to the show are not even Brazil. It's completely other different countries. Like Germany is one of the top 5, and it's crazy to me. So what I was wanting to do, and I'm going to sit down with somebody that's going to help me edit and come up with this, is that I want to create a new intro for the Empowered Woman podcast, and I want you to be a part of it. So if you are a native speaker of a different language other than English, I want you to participate into this in recording a short clip, probably to say the empowered woman in your native language. So I'll create a more robust structure for this, create like a form where you can fill it out, record this, even if it's just in the notes, in the audio notes of your phone, and send it over, because I want to create a new intro where it says, the empowered woman, la femme puissante, la mulher empoderada, different languages, and to really be representative of this message of mine that is to empower women all over the world. And I have been doing this, which is incredible to me. So once again, if you're listening to this, if you speak natively a language that is not English and you'd like to participate into this, shoot me a message, because then you're definitely going to get first dibs in having your voice on the intro of this top-rated podcast to be listened to all over the world. And then you can say, hey, did you know that that's my voice? So let me know. So that's one of the plans. Something else that I have in the works is that the TEDx that I spoke for actually has open applications for their next installment. That's going to be November 13th. They're taking in applications until July 30th. And I have a really close relationship with the curators. I've already had a meeting with them actually this week, talking about me introducing potential candidates to them before they even apply, so they can have a conversation. So if you're interested in speaking in a TEDx and having kind of your way into it more intimately, here in Denver, November 13th, so you'd have to travel to Colorado if you're not local, let me know. Because I've been talking to a few of my clients. We've been doing a strategy session to map out their content, and they have some amazing ideas. I am so excited to, support them through it and then see them on that stage. So if that's something that you're interested to, you have to hurry, because applications close July 30th. And if you'd like my support, just hit me up. I also want to do a workshop, and this is coming up in August, on how to find and apply to TEDx's and increase your chances of actually being chosen. And I'm partnering up with someone else on this that is somebody also that is amazing with visibility and PR. Her name is Veronica Sofer. I've been interviewed in her podcast. I need to have her over, but we're collaborating on this, and I'll have more information soon, so stay tuned. And now, finally, let's talk about the Empowered Woman Bundle. So this is something that I'd seen some people do here and there, but I'm excited to present to you the very first ever Empowered Woman Bundle. What does that mean? You're going to have exclusive access to several different resources from my clients, members of the Empowered Woman School, paid resources that are actually offered free. So for the period of 5 days, starting July 18th, ending July 22nd, you're going to be able to sign up on the sign-up page and be directed to a gifts page where you have access to all of these resources. So there are checklists, there are courses, there are one-on-one calls, all kinds of stuff. I'm also offering one of my mini courses that's valued at $197 for absolute free. Lots of amazing stuff, but you have to sign up within that time frame to have access to them for free, because after that, the page is going to be disabled. And so what's amazing is that this is a great opportunity for my clients to increase their reach, to add emails to their contact list, because they're going to have, more eyes on their business. And it's a great way to just promote yourself, and also for me to showcase my clients. So this is one of the amazing perks of being a member of the Empowered Women School. So that's another reason why I'm doing this, is that I want to show you what kind of reach and what kind of support you could get if you decide to join the Empowered Women School. I'm also going to be offering, here's a little scoop, I'm going to be offering a 30-day trial for people that sign up for my offer, which is also free. So there's going to be lots of cool stuff, but you got to keep your eyes peeled to your inbox, because I'm going to be sending this out July 18th. So I'm letting you know, you're hearing it first here, but you will have to stay tuned to my social media posts, and also to your inbox if you're in my mailing list. And if you're not, the easiest way to get to my mailing list, by the way, is to go and take my personality quiz, marchesburg.com/quiz. Figure out if you're a thinker, feeler, or doer. And then you're going to receive this email. So if you're wanting to get like a full-on checklist on how to get started on your podcast, a course on how to unsubscribe from perfectionism, a masterclass on how to get your ideas out of your mind and onto paper to start writing your book. Oh my gosh, there's so many resources for my clients that are on there. And here's the thing. Next time I run this, if you're a member of the Empowered Women School, you can have your offers featured. I've known that people that have had these bundles put together can add up to like 300 contacts in their mailing list by doing this. So lots of amazing goodies coming out of one situation. So you'll want to stay tuned. Once again, this begins July 18th, so Monday, this coming Monday. So stay tuned for that. And I think that's all I had. I'm super excited for everything coming up, but most of all, I'm not going to lie, I'm excited for some time off and my upcoming vacation. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I seriously appreciate you. Like I said, if you listen to this episode, will you send me a message of speedy recoveries? I would love to hear from you. Again, if you speak a foreign language and it's your native language and you want to participate in my upcoming project to create a new intro for the show, do reach out. Also, if you're interested in applying for this TEDx that I talked about, deadline July 30th, also reach out. And finally, stay tuned for the Empowered Woman Bundle coming up in a couple days. Until next time, bye.